Hello friends, welcome to engineering tutorial. So we'll continue our discussion related to power systems engineering, and we were discussing about the important parameters of transmission line. Before that, in the introductory video, we discussed that first we have to cover the basics of resistance, inductance, capacitance and resistive, capacitive, inductive circuits, so that we can dive deep into understanding the various parameters, important elements of transmission line. So we have covered resistive and capacitive circuits. Now is the turn of inductive circuits, inductance and inductive circuits. So this is the part 1. So we'll be starting with the basics, the very basics in a quick way. So first is magnetic flux and flux density. So electric field and capacitors and magnetic field and inductors, they have a similar relationship, because the energy associated with the capacitor is stored in the electrostatic field or electric field, and the energy stored in an inductor is stored in the magnetic field. So magnetic field has a role to play, huge role to play in inductors. Electric field has a huge role to play in capacitors. Okay, so first is magnetic flux and flux density. So basically, magnetic flux is a measure of the number of magnetic field lines passing through a surface or an imaginary area. If we imagine the number of magnetic field lines passing through it, that gives us the magnetic flux, which is basically the dot product of the magnetic flux density and the area of the surface. As we all know, the area vector is perpendicular to the surface outwardly, so it is given as the dot product B vector dot A vector, which is equal to BA cos theta. And if we reverse this expression, the magnetic flux density is the magnetic flux per unit area. Okay, it is the magnetic flux per unit area, phi by A. Okay, so this is magnetic flux and flux density. Magnetic flux has a unit of Weber, flux density has a unit of Tesla. Then we have flux linkage. Okay, so let us say we have an inductor, which is basically a coil, okay, a coil consisting of a number of turns. Then we have a magnetic flux, a magnetic field. The number of turns of the coil is N, and the magnetic flux linking with each turn is phi. Okay, so flux linkage is simply the product of the number of turns of wire, in this case let's say capital N, and the magnetic flux linking with the coil. So simply the product of the magnetic flux and number of turns of coil, that gives us the flux linkage, which is equal to N phi. Okay, so flux linkage, magnetic flux density. Then the two most important concepts associated with inductors and inductive and magnetic circuits, which is electromagnetic induction, the phenomena of electromagnetic induction, and Faraday's law. So whenever the magnetic flux linking with a coil of any number of turns, when the magnetic flux changes, as a result of the change in magnetic flux, there is an EMF which is induced in it, which is generated in it because of the change in magnetic flux. So this phenomena of generation or production of EMF or voltage in a conductor or coil, when the magnetic flux linking with it, the flux linkage linking with it, when it changes, that is called as electromagnetic induction. Okay, so Faraday's first law simply states the same thing, that when the magnetic flux linking with the conductor changes, an EMF is induced in it, and the EMF lasts as long as the change in magnetic flux continues. If there is no change in magnetic flux, there will be no EMF. As long as there is a change in magnetic flux, even if it's by a small margin, the EMF will be there. So Faraday's first law is simply that, the phenomena of electromagnetic induction. Faraday's second law, it states that the magnitude of the induced EMF or voltage is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux or the flux linkage with the coil with respect to time. So simply Faraday's second law gives us the expression of the induced EMF. So let's say we have a coil of, let's say, n number of turns and the magnetic flux linking with it. The magnetic field can be produced due to any source, a permanent magnet, electromagnet, whatever it is. So whenever the magnetic flux changes, the magnetic field lines cutting through the coil, passing through the coil, they change, and EMF will be generated, and that induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux with respect to time. And the expression is the induced EMF VI is equal to N d phi by dt. Now, an interesting thing which is related to this generation of the induced EMF is that it is always opposite in direction to the applied voltage. From the applied, the direction, it will oppose the flux. Okay, so that is pointed out in Lenz's law. It is that the induced current or the induced EMF, it will be in such a direction, the current flow will be in such a direction that it opposes the very cause that produces it. The cause of the generation of EMF is the change in flux. So it will oppose the change in flux. The induced EMF or current will be in such a direction that will oppose the change in flux. So that's why a negative sign comes here. So that is VI is equal to minus N d phi by dt. Okay, that is Lenz's law. Then the concept of inductance or self-inductance, which is related to all these things. Here what is expressed is that we know that EMF is induced whenever there is a change in magnetic flux. So how to bring about a change in magnetic flux? So the answer to that is a change in current. A change in current produces a change in flux. A change in flux produces a change in EMF, generation of EMF. This is called as the phenomena of self-induction. Okay, so the important thing to note here is that change in current produces change in flux. Okay, change in current produces change in flux. Change in flux produces induced EMF. Okay, so this is the important thing. So what is inductance? It is the property of electrical conductor to oppose a change in the electric current flowing through it. So if you pay close attention to this definition, it is in accordance with Lenz's law. Why? Because the Lenz's law states that the induced EMF or induced current will always flow in such a direction that will oppose the very cause that produces it. So the cause of generation of EMF is flux. The cause of generation of flux is current. So opposing that is the inductance. Inductance is that property of an electrical conductor which opposes a change in electric current. It means that when it opposes a change in electric current, it means it is also opposing a change in magnetic flux or the generation of induced EMF. Okay, so inductance is simply that property. Inductance is simply that property of an electrical conductor which opposes a change in electric current flowing through it, and by doing that it also opposes a change in magnetic flux linking with the coil and also opposes the generation of induced EMF. So the unit of inductance is Henry, And there are two types of inductance: self-inductance and mutual inductance. So a very simple way to express an inductor is a solenoid, which consists of a core, of an insulated core with number of turns of coil, n turns, wound over it with a current I flowing through it. This is the symbol of the inductor. So the expression of inductance is given in terms of this: L is equal to Vs by di by dt. So here Vs is the self-induced EMF in the solenoid or inductor. Di by dt is the rate of change of current. So here the ratio of the self-induced EMF and the rate of change of current flowing through the inductor or coil, that is called as inductance. So here it means as di by dt decreases, the value of inductance increases, and as it increases, the value of inductance decreases. So it means higher value of inductance means less change in current with respect to time, and low value of inductance means high value or high change in current with respect to time. So that fulfills the definition of inductance. It opposes change in current, and with that it opposes a change in flux. Now here self-induced EMF has two expressions: one in terms of Faraday's law, which is N d phi by dt, and one in terms of change in current, where it is L di by dt. So here if we integrate both sides, cancelling out dt, this becomes N phi is equal to L I. That implies L is equal to N phi by I, where N is the number of turns of the coil, phi is the flux linking with the coil, and I is the current flowing through the coil. So this is another expression for a formula for inductance, N phi by I. So these are the two expressions of induced EMF. So self-induced EMF, N d phi by dt or L di by dt. Here I am not using the negative sign because it will get cancelled automatically on both sides. So this is one way of expressing inductance, this is another way of expressing inductance. Then energy stored in an inductor. So as we all know, as I said in the beginning, electric field has a role to play in capacitors, magnetic field has a role to play in inductors. Energy is stored in electric field in capacitors. In inductors, energy is stored in magnetic field, and the expression of stored energy in the magnetic field in an inductor, that is equal to 1 by 2 Li square. In case of capacitors, it was 1/2 CV square, here it is 1/2 Li square. L is the value of inductance of the coil or the conductor, and I is the current flowing through it. Okay, next is, suppose we have an inductor connected to a source, voltage source, and a current flows through it. The value of inductor voltage and current: first, the inductor voltage, simply as we have discussed previously, it is given by, which is the self-induced EMF, the voltage across the inductor VL is equal to L dIL by dt, where IL is the current flowing through the inductor. Okay, this is IL. Okay, L dIL by dt, and the inductor current can be expressed as IL is equal to 1 by L minus phi to t VL dt. These are similar expressions as when we discuss the capacitor voltage and current, where minus phi and t, they take into account the switching time, the transient analysis thing. Before switching, after switching, steady state, transient state, everything is taken into account. So here minus phi to 0, it is the interval which is before switching. Steady state before switching, and 0 to t is the time interval after switching, okay, up to the particular time instant. So these two time intervals should be taken into account, okay, because capacitors and inductors, they are involved in they are frequency dependent, okay. They are not like resistors, okay, where you switch it off, everything, the current immediately goes to 0. No, here it is not like that in case of capacitors and inductors, okay, because they release the energy slowly. So this is the thing related to inductors, voltage and current. Next is the inductance of a solenoid. So let us say again we have a solenoid of length L, okay, the length of the core, cross-sectional area A with number of turns of coil, N turns, and current flowing I. So here the inductance of this solenoid is given by mu 0 mu r N square A by L, where mu 0 is the absolute permeability, mu r is the relative permeability, N is the number of turns of coil as we saw it here, A is the cross-sectional area, and L is the length of the solenoid. Okay, so here are some of the basic concepts related to inductance or self-inductance in particular.